The login functionality is working as expected. That being said, when we scaffolded the quick start, we did not get the register in this built-in template. If you go on the Dundee website, they have more templates where we have the register functionality. Rather than typing all of that, I have provided those inside snippets for section 5. The first thing that we have to do is we need to create a register view model inside the account. So right click, add a class. We will call this register view model. Let's go back, copy everything and paste it right here. We will add the data annotations and looks good. External provider. So in the default template, three things were not present. First name and last name were not present because these are the fields that we added in application user. Also, a string for role name was not present. I added these three strings so that we can do some customization when we register a user. So this looks good. Let me close this. Next thing that I want to change inside the account controller is we have the login post, and right here where we have the username, rather than passing the first or last name, let me pass the user.username. The reason behind that is inside the claims, when we say name, it actually represents the username and not the name of the user. So that looks good. That was one change that I wanted to show. Then if we go back to our snippets, we have the code for registration. We will get everything that is there inside here. Let me show you where to paste that. I will minimize all of the code, and right before the helper APIs, we will paste the code. We will have to add the reference for our register view model. Let me do that. And I believe we need a list of string. We will add the generics here. And we will also add claim. Perfect. So this looks good. There we go. Now let me see what's actually happening here and let me explain that to you. So the first thing here is the getAction method for register. This is the one from template. We have not modified anything there, but inside the build register view model async, that method we added a list of roles. There we added two roles for admin and customer. These two roles we are then assigning that in a view bag, and we will extract this view bag and display that on the registration page. Everything else is the same as it is in template. Let's examine what we are doing inside the register post action method. Right here we get a register view model, we create an application user, then we create a user based on that. If that is successful, then we assign the appropriate role based on the value inside model.rolename. So this looks good. After that we are adding claims async and we are adding a few claim. Let's say you also want to add the first name and last name to the claims. So in that case we will copy and paste this few more times. We have the family name and we have the given name. So we will change that to model.firstname and model.lastname. This way you can add more claims when the user is registering. After that we will try to sign in the new user, and if the login is successful, then we redirect back to the return URL. This is the same code that we had earlier. So I hope this makes sense. I did not want to spend much time on customizing all of that. Because of that, I provided snippet. But I want to make sure the identity server you learn has all of the code and pieces that are working. That being said, inside the view that we have, we will have to open up the login view. And right here, we need to create a URL to register a new user. So if we go to the top, we have the card body. Let me minimize that. After the card body, we will add a div, give it a class of card footer. And in here, we will add a URL.action to go to the register view with the model of return URL. So once you add this line, you can save the login view, and then we have to create a new registered view inside the account folder. So right here, we will add a view, empty view, and this will be register.cshtml. I have provided the snippet inside the snippets folder for registered view. We can paste that right here. The model for this will be register view model. Now it does not find the register view model. So if we go back where we have the register view model, we can copy this, go back and write the complete path. There we go. With that, it should be able to find the register view model and everything looks good. I just have a case mistake here, so correct that. And with that, let's run the application. The view for registration is pretty simple. We are just adding all of the fields that we want from the user. One thing I would like to show you is right here, I have a drop-down for the role name. If you remember inside the account controller, for the register get action method, we press F12 here. We are adding both of these roles inside a view bag with the name of message. So what we do inside the registered view is we extract both of those items from the view bag and add it to a drop-down. Let's go back and try to log in. Everything was logged in, so we directly get the login here. If you try to log out, you will run into an error here which says no sign out authentication handler is registered for the scheme IODC. Now I believe the reason here is spelling mistake because it should be OIDC, that stands for OpenID Connect. That is what we configured. If we go to the main project mango.web startup class file, we registered a cookie, we registered OpenID Connect with OIDC. So if we go to our home controller inside logout, this should be OIDC and not the other spelling. So with that, let me rerun the application and try to log out again. If we click log out, this time it actually works and you are now logged out. We click here to return back to the main application. That being said, let's go to login again, and this time we have this link that we added, new user, register right here, and this is the new view that we added. I need to change the placeholder for all the places, so let me do that real quick. We will go back to our register. Placeholder will be last name, first name, email. Perfect. That looks good. So our registration view looks good, and right here we are asking user what role they want, admin or customer. Now I know in a production application you do not ask user for a role, but this is to test few things and understand the basics of how Identity Server works. In my other courses I have shown you how to handle admin users and registration, but I won't spend time on this course because that is not the main focus of this course. Let's try to register a user from the portal. We will register an admin user here. And let's hit the register button. Great, it registered the user and also signed in the new user. Let me log out and try to register a customer. Perfect, both of them worked. Let's validate everything inside SQL Server before we wrap up this video. So inside the ASP.NET users, now we have admin and customer. Looks good. Let me examine the ASP.NET user roles table. And the one ending in 30 is customer. So D7 should be the role for customer. And that is correct. So roles are being assigned as expected. So with this, we have added login and registration functionalities, And now let's see what happens when we try to access product. Again, we don't get any list. Let's understand why is that in the next video.